Page 17. We have our formulas right here, difference of squares, sum of squares, and we have conjugates. So conjugates are used to change denominators into a difference or sum of squares to make simplifying easier. Conjugates could also be a sum or a difference of cubes, fourths, and so on. Once they get past squares, though, it does get more complicated. Fill in each blank to make each statement true. So the first one's done for you. You distribute the 7 to each of those two terms to get 21 plus 7 square root 2. Use box or FOIL to multiply those out, you get 7. Now notice these are a difference of squares. So you have a squared minus b squared. 3 times 3 is 9. Square root 2 times square root 2 is 2. So we have 9 minus 2 equals 7. That's how they got 7 right here. Let's look at another one on that first column. So something times square root 5 plus 6 is 2 square root 5 plus 12. That'll be 2. And then this one, we were dealing with conjugates, so it's going to be negative square root 5 plus 6. The next was done for you. For this one, is basically like a sum of squares. Since the i's will give you a negative 1. So we have 9 plus 16, and that's 25. That's how we get that right here. Okay, the number that gives you 6 minus 15i would be 3 at the top in the numerator. And then the denominator, the conjugate of 2 minus 5i is 2 plus 5i. Let's look at the next column. So we're given the first fraction and the unity fraction. Now we will find our rationalized fraction. So we're going to distribute the 2 into each of these to get 10 minus 2 square root 3. Okay, so we have a difference of squares, so it's 25 minus 3. That's 22. Alright, let's look at the next one. Distribute the 1 into each of these to get square root 6 plus x. This is a difference of squares, so we have negative 6 plus x squared. That's just x squared minus 6. For this one, we're going to distribute the 5 into each term to get 10i plus 35x. And to put it in standard form, we put the real number first and then the imaginary number second. This is a sum of squares. So we have 49x squared plus 4. You can't add those together, so you just write that down here. Okay, let's look at one more on this column. The last one. 4 distributed to each of these to get 20 minus 12i. All over, this is a sum of squares, so it's 25 plus 9. It's going to be 34. And let's look at the last column on this page. For this column, we're given the first fraction, the original. We will find the unity fraction that gives you the desired denominator. For these, we're going to find conjugates of the denominator of the original. The conjugate of 4 plus square root 10 is 4 minus square root 10. Distribute the 1 to each of those to get 4 minus square root 10. So all three blanks is going to be 4 minus square root 10. Let's look at this one. So the conjugate of square root 7 minus 1 is negative square root 7 minus 1. Distribute the 3 into each of those to get negative 3 minus 3 square root 7. The conjugate of I minus 3 is negative I minus 3. So distribute the 7 to each of these. You get negative 21 minus 7i. And let's look at the last one on this page. The conjugate of 9 minus I is 9 plus I. Negative 2 times 9 is negative 18. And negative 2 times I is negative 2i. Finish the rest of this page and then move on to the next page.